Mr. Mayor, before we start the meeting, we have a guest in the audience this evening who wants
Okay.
to appear before us. It looks like our agenda is going to go pretty quick, so.
Yeah, it does.
I'll introduce that person when it's time.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call to order the McMinnville Water and Light Commission the 19th of April, 2022. And Trina, you're not at our side, but I can see you if you'd like to do a roll call.
Yes, Mayor Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Tinkersley,
Here.
Commissioner Gormley,
Here?
Commissioner Christensen, and Commissioner Tate are excused this evening.
Thank you, Trina. In front of us, we have a consent agenda that has the minutes of the previous meetings dated February 16th and March 15th. Anyone like to take anything off of our consent agenda?
I don't want to take it off, but we will do the special meeting minutes next time. Okay, great. Thank you. I'm happy with the consent agenda. And in fact, I move adoption of the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved by Tom and seconded by Ed. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Next, we have our accounts payable and purchasing reports for you to have looked in the packet. Let me take a look. I don't see Brent here yet. So we'll just move down to.
I think Brent is here on my iPad anyway.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, well then let's go to consultant and partner report. And so Brent, if you would update us on your presentation, those are on page 32 through 33.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And yeah, if you guys are 100% live meetings now, I'll see you next month for sure. So look forward to that. Reforestation is 100% complete. We had a good season. Everything came out just like we planned and got everything done. The weather cooperated, got all our seedlings. So that's done. I've enclosed a letter from Oregon Department of Revenue confirming that Boise Cascade, the letter refers to them as Boise Building Solutions, has paid their harvest taxes for the 103 road sale, which was a 2021 sale. And that's the final piece to close out that sale. All their other contractual obligations have been met. So I'd recommend release of that, the performance and payment bonds and the cash deposit of $25,000.
Brent, this is Tom.
Yeah.
So Boise has a new name now?
I don't know that name I've seen that name. We've sold them sales under that name before. And I'm not sure how they're set up.
I mean, the concern I have is that I think that our contract with them was Boise Cascade, right?
That's right. Yep.
And how do we know this is our sale?
Well, I thought of that very thing, and they reference in that letter the 103 road sale.
The state does? Okay.
Yep. So I think we're okay there.
Okay, so we don't care who paid the tax as long as it got paid, right?
Yeah, the 103 road taxes were paid by some form of Boise.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's like where their checks come from, is the Building Solutions
Okay.
part of the company. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is tied together in the letter there.
So do you need a motion to release the payment bond and the cash deposit?
I believe so.
Right, we'd be looking for a motion regarding the 103 road sale to release the performance and payment bond and the cash deposit amount of $25,000 back to Boise.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved by Tom and seconded by Ed. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. And then Brent, if you want to move down to the 2022 stumpage sales.
Those sales are all ready to go. We're meeting with Murphy and their logger to do the pre-work meeting for Powerline West sale this week. We've already met with Stella Jones and their logger for Powerline East, and have a few minor contract things to get squared away, and otherwise we're ready to go. Weather permitting, both those sales will kick off in May.
And Brent, we're comfortable that they're not going to drop a tree into the power lines, right?
That's right. And I've filed the permit with BPA there, and they'll take extra precautions to be tying off some of those trees. They'll probably have to pull some back. They probably have to climb some of them and pull them back from the lines as they're falling them. And the logger that's doing the power line east sale, which has the most tricky topography there, has done this type of work before, so they're comfortable with it. They have a plan and so on.
Great, good.
And of course, normally tricky areas or tough topography or the kind of thing, we'd say leave the trees, but that's the whole idea here, is to clear that
Yes,
right
right,
away
right.
of any trees. So yeah, so we should be in good shape there. The only other thing I'd mention, I didn't put in the letters, we do have a watershed tour scheduled for July now. So look forward to that, having a commission tour again here.
And Brent, is there some place in Mason Bruce's files that we could put in case that Mason Bruce is still doing our forestry work 40 or 50 years from now, that we want that harvested before the trees get too tall to drop across the line?
Yeah, I could make that part of the management plan, but my thought was that would always be a lower rotation.
Yes,
area.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying, well, we put that in the management plan and explain why, so that future commissioners and future foresters could see that, please.
Yeah, we'd keep it at like a 40-year rotation, which would be
Okay, great.
so yeah, take care of that.
Thank you.
And I'll just mention that tour is scheduled for July 19th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., which would be the commission meeting day.
And so commissioners, if you know anyone that we need to reach out to be a part of that, I think we build that list. John has a list because we've done it so many times, but we know that we'll reach out to whoever the interim mayor will be at that point, and open it up for anyone on the council too. I think that's
Good idea.
critical.
Yeah, we were planning
Good.
on that, so.
Any other questions for Brent? Hearing
I
none.
think maybe the new MEDP person would be good too.
I talked to Patty today about it, so.
Great. Okay, perfect.
Okay, Brent, thank you for your report, for the report.
Thank you.
I see no appearance reports this evening. And so just to give Ed a heads up, I think before we go into executive business, if we want to do the introduction, might be appropriate.
So with us tonight is Mike Bernards, who Mike and I went to grade school together and known each other since we were little kids. Mike's a farmer west of McMinnville, and I spotted him in the parking lot and we were talking, and he's here tonight to talk to us about some issues. So Mike, go ahead and identify yourself for record and your address.
Do I stand up?
You can come here and sit at the chair if you'd like.
Yeah, you can come around the table.
Yes, I'm Michael Bernards, and I'm a farmer, been a customer of City Water and Light. Well, I'm 67, so whenever I got my first house. Farmer, do a lot of irrigation. Right now, we currently have 11 meters on McMinnville City Water and Light.
These are electric meters, Mike?
Those are electric meters, yes. 7 of them are irrigation services. The rest are residents or rentals. And what my concern is that I had a renter that moved out without notice the end of January. And because of non-payment, the meter was disconnected. I went over on the 2nd of January or February and see that he had abandoned the place. And second, or maybe it was the 3rd, it was a Friday. And it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I noticed go in the house that he's abandoned. And it looks like a homeless camp. I mean, it's appalling. And so I called City Water and Light to come put a meter back in because they had pulled the meter because of non-payment. And they told me that they wouldn't hook the meter back up unless immediately a after hours charge to rehook the meter. And it's Friday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going after hours. Well, they told me that City Water and Light works Monday to Thursday. Well, I'm a farmer. I work 7 days a week. Most people work 5 days a week. To know that you guys, the City Water and Light was not open on Friday and that they would not hook me up unless I paid an after hours fee, I just thought was outrageous because the rest of the world works a 5-day work week. There are exceptions to that.
Mike, this was February of 2021 or 22?
22, this
Okay,
last,
so it was COVID,
yes.
COVID related, okay?
Yes, and anyway, so yes, I went in, I did not pay it. I said, I'm good for it. I will make up for it. The renter had moved out. And that was I thought we had all of our rentals on a default back to the owner. And I came in and I asked, why was I not notified that you guys, City Water and Light, was going to pull the meter? This is the end of January. You don't pull an electric meter on a house. It happened to be decent weather, but I wanted to be notified. Well, they said they don't notify the owners if they're going to pull the meter. Well, it was abandoned. I didn't know about it till I went over there and found out that it was abandoned. So I asked, I don't ever want this to happen again. So they gave me a form, which is now part of our lease agreements, a third-party notice that if they're ever late on a bill, me as the landowner, will be notified that you're going to potentially pull the meter, which I thank you for that. Anyway, and at that, because I feel as if, because of the business I do with the city, Water and Light, for 45 years, we've never been late on a bill. It was a Friday, Friday afternoon. I asked them to waive that $150 charge. And John Spence, who came out and hooked the electricity back up, he witnessed what I was dealing with. I mean, it was appalling. Anyway, they did hook it up. And John Spence finally came back. He went to his boss, whoever that might have been, and said, we'd split it with you. And I said, I don't feel as if that's fair. I think it should be waived because it is a work day for normal people. I understand COVID. And anyway, and that's what I'm asking for, is that they waive that fee. And it's up to you, the board, to decide that I've been a good, loyal customer, and as far as City Water and Light goes, I don't think you'll ever find a better group. Your linemen, the crews, fantastic service. Anyway, and this is I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but I just don't think it's right. I just don't think it's right and fair. And that's why I'm here at the board, is because I don't, and again, I'll split it with you if that's what you decide. But I think it's a situation to where
You're
it should be
okay-
waived.
You're okay if we split it, Mike, you would do that?
Well, no, I'm not.
It's not
But
your
if that's
preference,
what,
but
if
you
that's
would-
what, if that's what you guys say, because like I say, I believe City Water and Light has been fair all along. I think everything's, I've worked well with your line crew. We've had several different projects, adding meters, extensions to your lines, paying the somewhat outrageous price of having a meter and a new pole put in, and it's just. But anyway, I just wanted to bring it before the commission to say that,
Did you ever talk to John Dietz, Jim, about it?
no.
So just to give you a little background, we struggled to keep the doors open because of COVID.
Okay,
So we spent a lot of time, the board, what are we gonna do? And the solution with not having people available to work because of people fearful of being around other, you gotta think about it, this is March of 2021. So we basically went through a notice process, and basically the board agreed to set the company 4 days a week.
So actually, we did it in May of 20.
It was May of 20. So it was a couple months after we tried it, and we just,
okay.
so there was lots of notice, but you're not looking for it. I understand.
Yeah.
We post it and stuff, but for us to send the guy out, it's a double time call for us. It's part of our contract with our employees, and it's real expensive. Even at half, we're still losing money to do it. So I mean, I'm fine if you'll split the cost with us, but I'm only one of 3 people. So Tom?
I have a quick question. Did Mr. Bernard's have to pay the arrearage to get rehooked?
No, because it's a new account.
So
What?
if the account, so is that correct? So it's a new account, so we're just gonna have to eat the arrearage if we can't find the people?
Yep, different customer.
How much was it, John?
I don't remember the number. Mark, do you
So-
remember the number?
Mike, any idea how much? that was?
I don't.
So if
Question.
the account had been in Mr. Bernard's name, he would have gotten the notice, right?
Correct.
Correct.
But then he would have had to pay the arrearage, or at least pay for that power, right? And he presumably wouldn't be able to collect it from his tenant.
Correct.
So it's pretty likely that the bill that we ate is more than the $150 fee, right?
Yeah,
Well, my
We'll find out-
question
we'll find
is,
out real
because
quick.
immediately upon him leaving, I notified City Water and Light of his forwarding address so that you could forward it. And I also notified Recology because of the trash cans that, hey, if he hadn't paid the electric bill, he probably hasn't paid his trash bill. And
trash is on a quarterly basis, so.
okay,
Yeah.
anyway, I noted, because I don't want anybody to ever get taken into the shorts.
and this is electric only.
This was electric only, yes.
I mean, my guess is if they left it that way, nobody's going to collect any money from them, right?
And if it means anything, I lost 2 months of rent on that property because I was ready to evict him because of non-payment. Not
Right.
knowing that he was.
Right.
You probably couldn't evict him because of the COVID stuff with the governor, so. It was
You're fortunate.
Yeah,
wonderful
yes,
world
I
time to be a
understand,
landlord,
and-
Mike.
So,
You're looking after your bottom line, I'm looking after my bottom
Sure,
line.
sure.
I lost a couple $1,000s and lost rent, plus the $1,800 of recarpeting and re-linoleum the trailer.
I really understand where Mr. Bernard's is coming from. And I'm really happy that and make sure that I understand this correctly. If another one of his tenants doesn't pay, his files are now set up so that we will notify him. Is that correct?
Yeah, the way it
Correct.
works, the way it would work is when that tenant leaves, we would then, that account then goes into his name, not the.
No, but if before we shut it off, he'll get notice, right?
Right,
I have a third party notice. Yes, if they ever go delinquent, I will be notified.
Great.
I
Okay.
can work with the land or the renter or city water and light at that point.
So how much money would Mike have had to pay?
$544.09 is what they owe us.
Yeah. So I mean,
$5,000.
50, man, come on.
So the $5,000 plus the $150 that I had to pay anyway, or that I lost and had to pay.
well,
Anyway, it's just,
I mean, we value you as a customer. I know staff does. They don't normally offer discounts to people, I don't think. And I know the commission does. But when I look at it, first, I'm happy this is not going to happen again because you will know about it before we shut it off. So I'm glad that you and staff figure out how to do that. But and I'm really sorry because I'm a landlord too, that you're getting, that these people have done this to you. But when I look at it, you're paying us $75, where if you'd have known about it the way it is now, you'd have paid us $525 to avoid the shut off.
well, I would have made sure that you were paid, whether I paid it or I would have.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the
I
tenant.
think Mike understands, Tom, that
It would never get to that much.
But it probably would have gotten to $75 is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. So I understand where you're coming from. But I think I agree with Ed that this seems fair. It's not, what happened to you is not fair, but in terms of water and light charging you $75 when it would have cost you more than that if you'd known about it and been able to avoid the shut off.
Yeah, I assume that $500 was multiple months.
Yeah.
It wasn't just because as soon as the first month went delinquent, I would have known about it, which would have been $100.
Well, but even then it's more than 75, but when you knew about it, as I understand landlord tenant law, you can't just go in there and throw him out. It takes you a while. So you would have either been shut off anyway, or you had to pay it.
And especially.
Right.
COVID.
Yeah, COVID was correct, and COVID was worse.
Yeah, but even without COVID, yeah, I mean,
We don't usually shut off for our normal procedure is 60 days, so we have 2 billing cycles. So it probably would have been $200.
So Tom, Mr. Bernard's is happy at the 75. He offered that originally. I think we should accept it and then.
okay. I agree with that.
Taking the time to come because it's a big deal.
And I appreciate that because we do need feedback from our customers. We do. It's important.
And we need to address, we know that we'd made during COVID that 4 days a week.
Before
And,
Tim's.
but at the same token, we pay on that Friday if there's needs out there. And we haven't talked about it per se. I'm sure at the administrative level, you guys have talked about it, but so.
Definitely.
So is it correct? I just understand it's the consensus of the commission that the $75.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is what staff had done.
So we will, you already did it, Tim.
Yes.
So it's closed out at this point, right? But you had an opportunity to meet a good old friend
Well, yeah.
and sit around the table.
The problem with meeting in public like this, I can't give him guff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it just, yeah.
Right?
Well, I'll let you guys know that Ed Gormley, my dad
Dad's gonna roll over
bragged
his
for
grave.
years and years and years of why his kids couldn't be as good of an employee as Ed was. Ed worked for my dad for about 4 years in high school and early college. And my dad bragged on Ed Gormley, the best employee he ever had.
Well, we still brag every once in a while too.
So anyway,
But your dad.
Wait. Like, before you leave, do you think that he really meant it, or was he just jabbing you kids?
No, he meant it.
Okay.
I know Ed. I know his family. I know his
heard that
mom
at
and dad.
Church many times. from
I,
some of the other
yes.
farmers. So Anyway,
No, it's a
so
fact.
Tom, you know, this is all of McMinnville, but your Uncle Ike and your dad always kept telling me that I thought if I could put a strawberry patch in, I could pay for my college. So they talked to me in great detail, and your dad and Ike were going to give me a couple acres to plant. So the day came to get me a couple of acres. We went out, this was the Carl place, went out to the shed, and your Uncle Ike says, bend over. I'm going to kick you right square in the backside. That was the acres. So anyway. And only your father or Uncle Ike could, get away with that kind of humor. So
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, and great to meet you.
okay, COVID's over, Michael.
Oh, yes, the beard, I started growing that in March of 2020. It's been 2 years. When it's over, I'll shave it.
Okay.
And I
There you
don't
go.
know.
Back in Alaska, Mike.
What's that?
You're back in Alaska from
Yes.
40 years ago.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, Mike.
Thank you.
That will now take us to staff reports. And so Scott, if you would address your report and memorandum from the electric deposit or the department. So
Hello.
Okay, before this guy sits down here, I thought you were trying to retire him. Didn't we have some, am I all mixed up, or is this what Zoom does to you, that the facts get twisted?
So the thing to do is ask him how many more days.
See, he was flipping, giving me grief. I said, I thought you. Okay, so there is a calendar and you're putting the X's on it?
Not doing that, no. One day at a time.
When did,
So
Okay, so how many 1 days of time are left?
till the end of June.
See?
and we had the dialogue at the luncheon of at transition, didn't we?
We did, we
Yeah.
did.
Tom, just so you're aware, Scott's leaving us.
I know, I objected last meeting, but I got voted down. Apparently he gets to retire if he wants to.
Well,
Okay, I'll shut up. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and
Mhm.
commissioners. This is just acknowledging April 18th is National Lineman Appreciation Day. That was yesterday. So back in April of 2013, the United States Senate established April 18th as National Lineman Appreciation Day. And this came after Hurricane Sandy and some natural disasters, over $65 billion in damages. Just wanting to take this opportunity to recognize our linemen and show them some appreciation for the hard work, dedication, and commitment.
Thank you. I agree completely. And you heard our visitor mention how much he appreciates the linemen. And I remember at the American Public Power Association conference after that had happened, that they had presentations about what all the linemen had done, and just incredible amounts. It drove incredible distances, did incredible things under really nasty circumstances. And I know that's what linemen do all the time, but it was really impressive.
It is.
Well, along with that, Tom, I think we had a presentation on the Navajo Indian
Yes.
Reservation and some of the phenomenal things that have happened there with that cooperative working from that perspective.
Tied in with that is
Oh.
this.
Oh, and so, so the 2022 NWPPA Safety Award winners have been announced, and we've got in the hours of exposure 7,000 to 100,000, correct?
70,000 to 100,000.
Yeah.
In that category.
First place was Columbia River PUD and was it Missoula Electric Co-op?
Mhm.
And then second place, and this is the big one, McMinnville Water and Light.
All right,
Congratulations.
As a super, that's you
great.
should take the pat on the back. I mean, it's like leadership is what makes those things happen. Let me tell you that firsthand.
Well, and the good crews that we have, so.
Yeah.
So
Keep them
So would
on.
it be appropriate for me to make a motion thanking Scott and all of our line crews for everything they do, and thanking Scott to bring this forward to us?
Sure.
Yes.
So moved.
And I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So be it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
for the report. Let's call on Chad to now give us the purchasing report and an update from that perspective.
Yes, so giving you the commission an update on the progress of the fuel station project. We just entered phase 2. Well, we've been in phase 2 for a little bit, but the actual construction has started. Anderson Environmental Contracting, or AEC, has been on site since March 28th. And they're currently out there right now. They're in the northeast corner where the station is going to be. They're installing underground utilities right now. So you can't see a whole lot, but one of the reasons I want to bring this to the commission is because it's going to go up pretty quickly. And so by the time next month's commission meeting rolls around, it'll be pretty visible. The appearance will be. So just want to update the commission there, kind of noted some of the highlights on that sheet, and just open up for any questions if there's any.
I'd just like to thank you for the pictures. These are really, I like how you did this. Thank you.
Yeah. It shows the progress very well.
Great.
Any questions for Chad?
John, this is information only, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No action. Great.
So Chad, again, thank you for the report. I mean, it really helps the commission to see the progress. We've talked so much about it, but pictures worth 1,000 words.
I think this has been over 5 years in the planning and stage of getting things rolling.
Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
There's no old business this evening. That takes us to new business. And we've got 4 items under new business. And first is a request to set a public hearing for water rates. And so, Mark, I'll turn that over to you.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission. You guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. I've got headphones on tonight. Maybe hoping that would help me project my voice better. Yeah, so a request to set a public hearing for the June 21st commission meeting. Back in February, the commission authorized staff to enter into an agreement with Utility Financial Solutions to perform a water cost service analysis and a 4-year rate design. And Mark Beauchamp of UFS, he set aside the 21st of June, the June commission meeting date, to hold the workshop and present the results of the analysis to the commission. And so in order to include the report and the workshop as part of the public hearing, staff recommends opening the public hearing that evening, June 21st. And then it's anticipated that after the presentation and discussion that the commission would continue the hearing to a later meeting, probably September. That's what's been done in the past, for additional comment to be taken, as well as deliberation and ultimately a decision on water rates at that time. So if this course of action is agreeable to the commission, then staff is seeking direction from the commission to advertise proper notice, both in English and Spanish, for a water rate hearing to be held on June 21st, 2022 at 5 p.m. to consider changes to water rates.
Mr. Mayor, I would so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we set the public hearing for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 at 5 p.m. All in favor, so indicate.
Aye.
Aye. And so we've got the go ahead to set that public hearing for water rate. Thank you, Mark.
Yep, thanks.
We next have the Oregon Clean Fuels Program, and this is the declaring our credit surplus. And so Jamie, and then along with that, then she'll talk about our renewable energy certificates. So welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Yeah, so first topic we'll discuss is an update on the Clean Fuels Program and McMinnville Water and Light's participation. It's been about a year since I've discussed this with the commission. So a bit of background. Back in 2009, the Oregon legislature authorized Oregon Environmental Quality Commission to adopt rules establishing a clean fuels program. The intent being to reduce the average carbon intensity of Oregon's transportation fuels by 10% over a 10-year period. That 10-year period ends in 2025. And as part of the program, there are regulated parties. There are credit generators and credit users. As an electric utility, McMinnville Water and Light is a credit generator based on the electric vehicles in our service territory and the carbon intense fuels that they displace. So each year, the state DEQ awards participants clean fuel credits based on a calculation of the number of EVs in our territory and a calculated carbon intensity in our area. And for the first year we collected credits was calendar year 2020. And last year, the commission declared those credits as surplus and authorized a sale. However, no sale was made. So in addition to those, now we have received calendar year 2021 credits. So I'm here this evening to ask for a motion to approve a resolution declaring as surplus an additional 918 clean fuel credits from calendar year 2021 and redeclare the 626 clean fuel credits awarded for calendar year 2020 and pledge this total combined 1,544 clean fuel credits to Oregon DEQ's credit clearance market and agree to sell those credits at a price no higher than $230.43 as per DEQ rules. And in the alternative, to the extent that the credit clearance market sale does not dispose of the clean fuel credits, delegate authority to the general manager to approve a sale of the same clean fuel credits pursuant to McMinnville Water and Light's contracting policy 8.6.1 and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign as necessary.
I'm in support of the request for this. I believe it's a resolution and we'll read by title only at some point. Tom, any?
I have a quick question first. So Jamie, first of all, is Water and Light ever going to need fuel credits? Clean fuel credits under the present rules? I realize they changed the rules on us, but under the present rules, do we foresee a need for clean fuel credits ourselves?
No.
Okay, so our fueling station won't require us to use clean fuel credits to offset the fuel we pump into our own vehicles or sell to the city?
Not that I'm aware. We're not an importer of fuel under the rule. As far as
importing from where?
Yeah, outside the state, right?
Out of Oregon.
Okay, so we would have to we want to be sure that we bought fuel for our fueling station. If, for instance, the city bought fuel from us, that we bought, or just for our own use, that we didn't bring it in from out of state, right?
Correct.
And we're confident that we wouldn't be doing that, because doesn't all gasoline come out of state and diesel because we don't have a refinery in Oregon?
Bulk fuel comes and has additives put into it at the plants. I don't know if you call it, if it's really called gasoline at that point.
But my question is, I want to be sure that we aren't going to need these ourselves, because instead of buying fuel from it's a card lock place, we're actually dispensing it and maybe even selling it to the city.
We would be buying the fuel essentially from the same company as the card lock. You know, the card lock is, if it's Brattenauer or Pacific Pride, that would be who we would buy.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
but are we sure that we wouldn't have to have those credits now?
We can,
I can follow up on that.
we can check and see.
I don't think it qualifies.
Yes, we use propane. and-
Okay, so I mean, I'm if there's a time crush on this, I'm happy to make the motion contingent on you confirming that we're not going to, need them under present rules. And I realize rules can change.
Right,
Okay.
that would work because we can double check.
So
Because
I'll second
we-
the discussion. So Tom, we have Chad on in the meeting with us.
Mhm.
So I mean, I hope he's listened to what you've said, because he would be the purchasing person handling this. So the issue with making sure we buy something within the state should be paramount to what's going on, so.
Well, or I mean, if it's cheaper to buy it out of state, we may want to use our credits
Right.
Yeah.
rather than selling at a price, not to exceed.
Because the closest place you could get the bulk fuel would be Portland. Otherwise, you're going up to Seattle.
Yeah, so I think so I understand it. So I can read the resolution by title only, and then we'll have a motion a motion to approve contingent on staff confirming that Water and Light does not have an expectation of a need for clean fuel credits under present rules.
Yeah, given the fact that we're going to have a fueling station, yes.
Okay, so the resolution is number 2022-5. Resolution by the city of McMinnville acting by and through its Water and Light Commission declaring clean fuel credits surplus and pledging clean fuel credits into the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality Credit Clearance Market and authorizing and delegating to the general manager of Oregon to sell clean fuel credits. That's resolution number 2022-5.
Okay. And so before us, do we have
Tom has moved. You want to move again, Tom?
Yeah, I move that we adopt this resolution contingent upon staff confirming that under present regulations and law, when we have our fueling station, either for our own use or perhaps the city would buy fuel from us as well, that would not require us to use these clean fuel credits to have them and use them. rather than-
So it's been moved in by Tom and seconded by Ed. Trina, do you want to poll the commission?
Yes, Mayor Hill,
Yes.
Commissioner Tankersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Gormley.
Yes. And so resolution number 2022-5 passes unanimously 3-0.
So, Mr. Mayor, before we leave this topic, I'm going back in my memory about what this is all about. And it wasn't about the convenience or trying to save money. This was all about disaster preparedness. And that we would have bulk storage available to us if we lost the bridges and all those kinds of things. So, okay.
Especially tied to the water treatment plant.
Yeah.
That's the key.
And I don't know if it's appropriate at this point, but I'm doing everything on my side to build this partnership with the city. We've got ARPA dollars and we've got quite a bit that hasn't been completely identified yet. And so that as I leave, I'm going to put that on that ARPA list with my support for that. Now, whether that happens, we'll just need to the interim mayor follow up on that.
Good, thank you.
But it's the same thing with us. We have a position for an emergency disaster manager that the council said that's an expense we don't want to do. And I argued big time that we do. Just like we put a lot of effort and redundancy here to make sure that we can do. City hasn't done much. And this is the one area that I think that we could put because it would deliver in spades for us. Okay, so just to let the council or the commission know that that's on the plate, but who knows? Thank you. Then Jamie, we then have the renewable energy certificates. And so if you want to update us on those.
Yes. I have some information to share with the commission and hope to have a little discussion regarding McMinnville's renewable energy certificates. A renewable energy certificate is symbolizes the renewable attributes of 1 megawatt of renewable energy. We receive these RECs as a result of our purchases of BPA Tier 1 power. So some wind, some incremental hydro RECs. We also receive monthly RECs related to our purchase of the Riverbend landfill gas resource. And so over the years, we have accrued a sizable number of RECs, and in I think 2019 explored our options as far as marketing some portion of those RECs, and we attempted that via a formal process, solicitation process. Ended up it wasn't something we followed through with at that time. And I've been in touch over the last few years with REC brokers in the area. There's consistent interest in from those brokers in the sale of these RECs, particularly the forward landfill gas RECs. And there's been a significant increase in the market price for those types of RECs. And so I felt it was important to share that with the commission. And also I'll just mention that we have banked these RECs over the years in anticipation of having them to use for our compliance obligation with the Oregon Renewable Portfolio Standard, which will begin in 2025. McMinnville, as a small utility, will be required to supply 10% of its portfolio with renewable sources. Currently, we are not projected to have an RPS obligation as far out as 2030 by my latest load forecasts. So we don't have an immediate need for RECs. Our balance currently stands at over 760,000 RECs, and we'll continue to accrue those annually for at least through our contract with Riverbend through 2030.
So your paragraph says staff is inquiring of the commission's present interest in the sale of the forward landfill gas RECs. If the commission expresses interest, staff will come back basically in May and declare the REC surplus and delegate the general manager authority to approve the sale. So I am interested in seeing what's out there in the marketplace myself.
So maybe I just one more comment. So we also generate RECs from BPA too. So we just received 16,000 additional RECs from BPA for efficiency upgrades to the hydro system.
Right, incremental hydro.
So this is not the only way we generate RECs. Just so commission's aware.
What's the forecast on the landfill? At some point, that's.
Yeah, it's forecasted to continue to decline in generation for the remainder.
Can we say 20 years from now, we may have little or no?
Yeah, but our contract only goes for another 10 years.
Okay.
Until 2020.
So it might,
2030.
so minimal at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've made a conservative projection on the output of that facility. Of course, any agreement for a forward sale would come at no risk to McMinnville Water and Light. We won't guarantee the performance of the plant. We don't own it. It'll be a unit contingent sale to guarantee that we're not exposed to any potential risk.
Right. So,
I saw your hand go up.
no, she just answered my question before I asked it. So great.
Any other
Do we need a
questions?
motion then to ask her to come back in May then with that information? Or
No,
what?
no motions.
No motion, just, okay.
Just tell staff what we anticipate.
Okay.
We'll come back in May then with something.
Sounds good.
With the path forward, okay. Thank you.
And then I think
Thank
we're
you,
gonna have a
Jamie.
couple discussions this after executive session,
Mhm.
so.
Okay.
so-
Okay.
That's all I have. Okay,
Thank you, Jamie.
thank you.
I have something for Trina before we go on. I just got a text, or I got a text a few minutes ago from Jeb Ledeen of the News Register saying that he's watching the meeting on YouTube, sees we are connected. I'm connected on Zoom, but he can't find a Zoom link, and wondering if he can use a Zoom connection to attend executive session meetings tonight as provided an ORS for media representatives to attend. So Trina, could you be working on that, please, with Jeb? Or let
Yes.
Jeb know?
Does anybody know? I just don't think I have his email address.
Yeah,
So-
I tried Jeb's email the other day and it came back to me under J Bladine at,
Can you, somebody just text him and give us either a phone number or an email? He can,
So what do you need, Trina, email or phone number?
Email would be great, and I can email
Yeah.
him the link really quick.
Okay, Jeb, if you will email to Trina, you want to
can
give him
email
your
me.
email address,
Yeah,
please?
my email
Yes.
is T as in Tom, D as in Delta, M as in Mary at mc-power.com. And then I can respond with the Zoom link for the executive session.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
okay. I know we don't have any document, but I do have a D, payment in lieu of tax discussion. Are we taking that into?
that'll be part of the executive. session.
Okay.
I can just email that to Trina.
Trina, his email address is jbladine@newsregister.com. But I tried that the other day and I got a
Bounce back.
bounce back. So I took some stuff down to him at the office today. And I've got the phone number.
Well, maybe if you could share the phone number with Trina, she could call him right now. Might be easiest.
Trina, I'll bring this to you.
If we give out Jeb's cell phone over the Zoom meeting, we might end up getting our News Register subscriptions canceled, right?
Or extended, one of the two.
Which one? Which one? It would be C, I believe. Just
Thank you.
James and James and Jamie. Jamie is B. James and Jamie and C. Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
We're going to start out with,
We'll start out with the cybersecurity.
okay,
Okay, so
I'm just going to read them both in, so we'll go into.
thank you, Mark.
Just keep
Are
going.
we in executive session or are we going in now?
Yes.
We're about to, we're not in yet because we'll announce them, but then we'll go in. So,
You're not having any more discussion, right?
we're going to come out, we will
At the
come
end.
out. at the
Yeah,
end.
we can come out.
Right, we will come out and any action we take will be
I'll
out.
just catch that on YouTube.
Okay,
Okay, thank you, Mark.
and we're not doing the renewable energy certificate one, right? We're not doing that one.
We can, I just do them all because we may want to, I think
Okay.
Jamie has some information.
All right, okay.
Okay, so are we on, well, we're gonna wait for Jeff.
Yeah, and then I'll have to announce them, so.
Yeah.
Anybody needs to use that, now's the time.
Okay, Jeb says he sent your let me see.
Yeah.
He just
did
texted
get
me,
an
sent-
email.
But that was different. She can send to j.bladine@newsregister.com.
Yeah, he did send me an email that from that email address, and so I responded 2 minutes ago with the link, so hopefully
Okay,
he'll,
and okay, I'll double check to make, I'll respond back.
yeah, he should have it now.
Okay,
Oh, I see him in the waiting room. Here he comes.
okay, perfect. Okay, great. Thank you, Trina.
Yep.
And Ed.
We'll wait for John and then we can get started. Howdy, Jeb.
You're a spy, Mr. Billy Dean. You're muted, Jeb.
Don't tell him.
You're muted. There you are.
Okay.
We're surrounded by monitors.
Hi there.
That was one big TV. That big 80-inch TV. I think.
Something.
Secret meeting, secret meetings and all.
Hey, your face is not visible. That makes you really secret.
Yeah, I am secret.
Again, Jeb, we're waiting for John to get back in the room and then we'll move forward.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jeb in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sam, do you want to read us into executive?
Okay, I'm gonna read in all three of the executive sessions. What we'll do serially in succession. So we're gonna go to executive session pursuant to RS 192-660 sub 2 sub F to consider information and records that are exempt from public disclosure under 192-355-23 relating to identifying security measures, individual building and information processing. And that's gonna be our first session. We're also then gonna go into executive session pursuant to 192-660 sub 2F to consider records exempt from disclosure pursuant to RS 192-355 sub 23 sensitive business records as described in RS 261-348 relating to the sale of renewable energy certificates.
Want me to go in the bathroom? No.
And then third, we will also go into executive session under 192-660 sub 2H to consult with legal counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of a public body with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed. We will be going into executive session and then afterwards coming out back into open session, probably in about 30 minutes, where any actions will be taken in open session. I understand we do have a member of the media with us this evening. I'll warn the media that the subject matter discussed in the executive session may not be disclosed outside of the executive session. And with that, I think we're ready to go in.